Talk to you about cargo vans that last more than 300,000 miles. Okay, we're talking about models that serve you the longest and give you the most bang for your buck. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation, I guarantee you.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flow with a stinging in the beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about cargo vans that last 300,000 miles or more. Okay, we are speaking about models that serve you the longest and give you the most bang for your buck. Okay, number 4, we have here Nissan NV200. Our score 7.2 over 10. So when you think about Nissan NV200, we have actually seen 53 customer complaints in general, and the most reliable model years you have 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2020. Okay, and the worst model year 2013 and 2014. So basically, we have 28 and 24 complaints on a platform called Car Complaints, respectively. You can see this on the screen here. Okay, so the Nissan NV200 is a compact cargo van with decent practicality and a great reliability record that's backed by customer reviews. Okay, in fact, Edmunds gives the NV200 a really good predicted reliability score, as you can see on the screen here. Okay, however, as you can also see on the screen, the worst Nissan NV200 problems, you have number 1, tires wear prematurely. So this is for the 2014 NV200. So the average cost to fix this $600. The average mileage 16,000 miles. Okay. Number 2, you have tires wearing out prematurely. This is for the 2013 NV200. Okay, and the average cost to fix this $1,300, and the average mileage 23,000 miles. And number 3 problem here, tires wearing out prematurely for the 2015 NV200 here. Okay, and the average cost to fix, it really depends on your model, and the average mileage 15,000 miles. So this compact Japanese workhorse, really, when you think about it, is still plagued by some common issues such as premature tire wear. Okay, and the average repair cost here $660 to $1,500. The average mileage it happens at, we have seen in our research, 16,000 to 17,000 miles. Okay, and you also have the model 2014 NV all transmissions. So both front and rear tires seems to wear out prematurely, even without driving enthusiastically in high speed stop and go fashion. So those are things you have to be really think about. And the rims are susceptible to bending also. And here the average cost $750, and the average mileage it happens at 18,000 miles. Okay, and this is for the model 2018 NV200, the NV200 CVT transmissions. Number 3, we have here the Ram ProMaster. Our score 7.8 over 10. So here, according to carcomplaints.com, the customer complaints are about 41. Okay, the most reliable model year 2016. The worst model years 2014. We have seen on car complaints, as you can see on the screen right now, 26 complaints that year. That's a lot. And the weak spots for this model is you have brakes, electrical systems, and transmissions. Very important. So before you buy, think about those things. Okay, so Ram's successful cargo van is not only very affordable, that's for sure, but it seems to be fairly reliable as well. Okay, so one thing I want to say here is that the model is kind of cool. Delivery businesses love it. However, as you can see on the screen right now, we have the worst Ram ProMaster 1500 problems. We have brakes squeal 2014 for the 2014 ProMaster 1500. The average cost to fix depends. The average mileage 4,000 miles. Okay. Number 2, the parking brake does not work. This is for the 2015 ProMaster 1500, the average cost to fix about $1,400, and the average mileage 45,000 miles. And number 3, the model won't start. We're talking about the 2014 ProMaster 1500, the average cost to fix depends, and the average mileage 1,000 miles. Okay, so the model still has a couple of notable problems, such as loud brake squeal. Okay, the average cost here not applicable. Average mileage, it happens at 5,000 miles. And we're speaking specifically about the 2014 ProMaster model. Okay, so dealing with squeaky brakes seems to be the most common issue with ProMaster owners that appears at a very low mileage, so be aware of that. So most customers report that the official Chrysler dealer couldn't offer a real fix as the brake system appeared fine most of the time. Okay, you also have to deal with malfunctioning parking brake. The average repair cost $1,500, $1,400, $1,500. The average mileage, it happens at 45,000 miles. Okay, and the model at fault here, the 2015 ProMaster 1500 3.0L diesel. Okay, and you also have problems where the vehicle won't start, and the average cost here depends. The average mileage, it happens at 1,400 miles. Okay, in some cases. And the faulty models here, you have the 2014 ProMaster 1500 and the 2014 ProMaster 2500. Number 3, folks, we have here the Ford Transit. Our score 8.4 over 10. So for the Ford Transit, we have in total we have 51 customer complaints reported on car complaints as of July 1st, 2022, and 2022. Okay, and the most reliable model year here is 2019. So when you want to buy Ford Transit model, 2019 is kind of cool. The worst model years, 2015, 2016. So out of those 2 years on car complaints, as you can see on the screen, you have 18 and 16 complaints in those years, respectively. And the weak spots when it comes to Ford Transit, you have the engine, brakes, and electronics. Those are things Ford needs to continue working on. So the Ford Transit, I mean, as you and I know, is probably the most popular cargo van in the United States, and it seems like, you know, it's a very long-lasting machine as well. Okay, and you won't find a lot of negative customer feedback, and Consumer Reports gave the 2021 model a high score in predicted reliability, as you can see on the screen here. And one thing I want to say here is that Consumer Reports says that recent updates to the Transit commercial and passenger van include new powertrains and more safety equipment. Okay, so those are good for the model. The standard engine is a 3.5 liter V6. The turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 engine carries over. Both engines are paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and all-wheel drive is available for the first time. Driver assist systems such as FCW, AEB, and the pedestrian detection are standard. So those are really cool. Okay, those are really cool. However, as you can see on the screen here, there are some worst Ford Transit problems. So the premature brake wear for the 2016 Transit, the average cost to fix $900, the average mileage 33 miles. Okay, the AC doesn't cool below 70 degrees. This is for the 2015 Transit. The average cost to fix, it really depends, and the average mileage 8,000 miles. And number 3 problem, the hole in number 4 piston for the 2017 Transit. So the average cost to fix here, $11,500. Okay, and the average mileage, it happens at 78 miles. So despite being a lasting and capable cargo van, the Transit still has a few major issues to look for. For example, the AC will not cool below 70 degrees. So the average mileage, it happens at 85 to 9,000 miles, 8,500 to 9,000 miles. And the model at fault here, the 2015 Transit 3.5L. You also have the bad high pressure fuel pump. Okay, so the average repair cost about $2,000, and the average mileage, it happens at 51 to 52,000 miles. And the model at fault here, the 2015 Transit HD 3.2 Power Stroke Automatic. And in some cases, you have the premature brake wear. And the average mileage, it happens at 33 to 34,000 miles. And the model at fault here, 2016 Transit STD. Number one, best of the best in our view, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Our score 9.6 over 10. And this is a great van. I mean, everybody knows that. And on car complaints, you have 29 customer complaints reported on car complaints as of July 1st, 2022. Okay, so the most reliable model year, 2018 to 2022. Okay, the worst model year, 2016. And that in that year, they actually had 14 complaints. And the weak spots for this model: electrical system, engine, and brakes. Okay, so the Sprinter is the work van with the least number of complaints and the lower amounts of technical service bulletins on our list today, according to car complaints. Okay, and the other sources gave the new Sprinter high ratings for predicted reliability and owner satisfaction. Okay, but as you can see on the screen, there are still problems with this model. So the worst Mercedes-Benz Sprinter problems: number one, the wheel sensors damaged. This is for the 2020 Sprinter. Okay, so the average cost to fix $1,000. The average mileage 4,000 miles. Number two, DEF heater and DEF pump went bad. So replacement too on the 2013 Sprinter. Average cost to fix $2,600. Average mileage 95,000 miles. And then we have the factory tires worn out early for the 2016 Sprinter, and the average cost to fix $1,100, and the average mileage 22,000 miles. Okay, so you can see on the screen here that we want to really elaborate a little bit. So faulty DEF heater and DEF pump. The average cost to heat in general $2,680, and the average mileage that it happens at 95,000 miles or 96,000 miles. And the model at fault here, the 2013 Sprinter 3.0 V6 automatic. Okay, and you also have engine stops and stalls. So the average repair cost depends really on your machine, on your model, but the average mileage, it happens at 15,000 miles. So you have to be very careful about that. So if you are in the market and you want to buy, just be careful. Okay, and so the model at fault here is the 2016 Sprinter 3.6 or 3.0 V6 automatic. So that's really, so it's really, so the specific failure here is related to the engine shutting off when the van stops and the stalls upon acceleration. Okay, those are things you really have to pay attention to if you are in the market for a new cargo van. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We are still talking about cargo vans that last very, 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 very long. Okay, and let me talk to you about that. Let me give you some overview here, so you have a clear idea of what we're talking about. Now, there are some cargo vans with the worst reliability records. You have to know those also, so that you don't actually waste your time and money and energy on buying and driving those those jackasses of cars. Okay, so I mean, yeah, quote unquote jackasses. You know, so. Here are the cargo vans with the worst reliability records. Number one, we have the Ford E150. So customer complaints 175. That's really high, and it's the most unreliable model years 2011, 2013. And the weak spots, you have engine, brakes, and transmissions. Okay, and so the average. So if you have the engine misfire and starter, so one problem is that the engine, it has a misfire and stutter upon acceleration, and basically the average miles, it happens at 48,000 miles. Okay, this is kind of high, and the model at fault here, 2011 E150 XTR. Okay, so engine misfire and stutter when accelerating appear to be a persistent problem that's been bothering E50 owners for years. So think about that. Okay, in some cases you have loss of power upon acceleration. Okay, I mean, this is kind of crazy, but it happens. And the average cost depends on the model, and the average mileage, it happens at 95,000 miles. And the model at fault here in the 2014 E50. Okay, so this is something you need to think about. And brakes squealing, vibrations, and failures. And the average repair cost depends on the problem, but the average mileage, you can expect this to happen at 25,000 miles. Okay, this is really what it is. And the model at fault here, we have 2014 E50. It's so this is really a very important element. One thing I want to talk about here is that it's important to understand all this different models for the Ford A50, because if you are in the market and you specifically want to buy the A50, you have to be aware of the problem that we have just talked about: engine misfire and starter upon acceleration, loss of power upon acceleration, brakes squealing, vibrations, and failure. That's a lot of problems to really actually compile on one specific model. The second car that has a worse reliability record is the Ford Transit Connect. Okay, and customer complaints 100. That's a lot of complaints. And the most unreliable model years, you were talking about 2012 and 2014. Okay. In terms of the weak spots here, we have transmission and engine. Okay, so basically those are really, I mean, although the Ford Transit Connect has always been, let's say, regarded as the Transit's smaller brother, the reliability of this compact cargo van is so really. Okay, so here are the most specific problems that place the Transit Connect in this category. So we have transmission failure. Okay, the average repair cost here, 3,000, 4,000, and the average mileage that this specific problem happens at, 50,000 miles. And the model at fault here, the 2012 Transit Connect 2.0 L automatic. Okay, so really this is something we have seen time and again. It seems like a common problem that actually plagues 2012 models with automatic transmissions. And another problem that we have seen and customers have reported: engine turns off while driving. Think about that. That's kind of crazy. That's really dangerous too, right? And so the average repair cost depends on the model, depends on your location, depends on the problem also. And the average mileage, it happens at 7,500 or 8,000 miles. Okay, and the model at fault here, the 2016 Transit Connect. So here we are speaking about mainly the XLT 2.5L automatic. Okay, so currently, so basically the problem here is that the vehicle tends to die all of a sudden. Okay, and this is accompanied by the check engine light. So this is really, this could be accidental. So this is a problem to be really aware of when you are on the market and you want to use this kind of cargo van for your business or for your business mainly. Okay, so I want to specify that the model at fault here is the 2016 Transit Connect. The third model with some kind of reliability records here is reliability issues here is the Chevy Express. Okay, and this is something you need to think about. And customer complaints 8,500. Now 85. The most unreliable model years, we are speaking about 1999 and 2010. That's a big delta here, but yeah, it is what it is. 1999 and 2010. And the weak spots here: transmission, brakes, and engine. Something that Chevy's engineers have to work on, really, when you think about it, right? So here are the problems that basically users have reported. So brakes leak and cause shaking. So the average repair cost is, it really depends on the problem and your location. So the average mileage, it happens at 40,000 miles. Okay, and the model at fault here, the 2012 Express V8. So one thing we have seen in our research is that older Express models tend to suffer from brakes-related trouble, such as vibrations and leakage, really. Another problem that users have reported, transmission slipping and failing. So the average repair cost, it really depends. And the average mileage, it happens at 75,000 to 80,000 miles. Okay, and the model at fault here, the 2012 Express 6.0L automatic. So the thing here is that you have to really think about what really works, what really works for you, and if you are willing to go with that risk. Okay, because when you have transmission slipping and failing, that's really bad, because this could lead to clutch debris damaging other parts of the transmission, and eventually the entire assembly will need to be replaced. And this is not something that you want to think about when you budget your cargo van expenses, right? Another example is the engine won't start. So the average repair cost here depends on the location, it depends on the model itself, but the average mileage, it happens at 30,000 to 35,000 miles. And the model at fault here, the 2017 Express V6 automatic. Okay. So here are a few pro tips. I mean, we are still having a conversation about cargo vans that last very, very long, right? And let me give you a few pro tips based on our research, based on our research and advice to cargo van businesses. If you want to make your cargo van last longer, you want to perform regular and adequate maintenance. Yeah, I know you might be probably thinking there's a lot of cash, but hey, listen, it's better to prevent than actually cure, right? Prevention is better and cheaper than cure. Okay, so you want to change the oil regularly. You want to check the brake system. You want to inspect the entire vehicle periodically. You want to maintain the right tire pressure. You want to replace the battery when it starts dying. So in terms of how often you should do this, it depends on how often you use the car. You use the cargo van. If you use it very frequently, let's say you have long hauls, long business hauls, then you have to maintain it. You have to check it more often. You want to check fluid levels regularly, right? We're talking about the oil, coolant, and transmission. Those are important. Okay, so ideally, the level of this fluid should not fluctuate between service intervals. Okay, you want to use genuine parts and the right fuel. It's important. I mean, don't be tempted to use cheap aftermarket parts instead of the recommended brand approved ones for your vehicle. Believe me, you will really save a lot of cash down the road, because replacing genuine parts with cheap alternatives can have a negative effect on your van's reliability. It's important. People actually they just fall for some cheap ass aftermarket parts. You don't want that. Okay. Another vital factor is to put the right kind of fuel in your vehicle, because if your engine is made to run on premium fuel, it probably wouldn't operate at its fullest potential, if you will, with the regular gas. Okay, you also want to keep the tires at optimal condition. This is important. Okay, so you have to think about, you want to inspect your tires every now and then for signs of a high or low air pressure, uneven wear patterns, excessive wear, right? Because you're using the cargo van for your business and whatnot. You want to actually check for those things periodically. Okay, you want to take warning light and gauges seriously. Because the crazy thing is, you might probably neglect the red, yellow spanner symbol or other warning lights when they appear. But hey, listen, this is your money that's going right there. Those signs are displayed for a reason. And your best bet is to check the owner's manual or go to an auto repair shop to have your vehicle inspected. Okay, so another important factor to keep an eye on is the engine temperature, the battery charge, and the RPM ones. Okay, it's really important. In our bonus category today, I want to share with you factors that affect the longevity of cargo vans. Okay, they're important to understand. Now, so determining how long a van will last is rather challenging, right? Although some makes and models have a reputation for being more reliable than others. In today's conversation, I've shared with you some of those, right? So you want to pay attention to a few metrics to make sure that you are at the right place at the right moment with the right van model. First, you want to pay attention to the predicted reliability ratings, because based on our research and based on experts we have spoken to, predicted reliability is a very powerful factor to consider when trying to figure out how reliable a vehicle might be, including a cargo van, because this rating takes into account the most recent information from the previous 3 years of study, survey data for a particular cargo van model to show what the owner's odds of facing potential problems and costly repairs are. So this is really good, okay? And eventually, when you really think about it, the predicted reliability can have a big impact on how happy you will be with the van in the long run, while also influencing resale value. So those are two things you have to think about, okay? Resale value, but also your experience while using it. The second metric you want to pay attention to is, that's not really a metric, but a second factor, equipment and tech. So modern cargo vans compact with equipment and high-tech gadgets, right? Which increases the possibility of something breaking down, really. Because complex optional technologies such as, let's say, multifunctional steering wheel, reversing camera with a rear view mirror display, and electrically folding exterior mirrors might give you headaches in a high mileage cargo van. That's why going for a model with the basic equipment level can potentially last longer due to having less tech and gadgets. This might sound, dichotomous, contradictory, but it is what it is. The earlier models have less tech and they tend to last longer. You also want to pay attention to the brand and manufacturer, right? Some automotive brands are known to manufacture very reliable vehicles regardless of the particular model. Okay, so according to Consumer Reports and Edmunds, Japanese and German brands tend to manufacture some of the most reliable vehicles in recent times. Okay, but having said that, every brand has its own flagship model, and having a prestigious badge on the hood will not necessarily guarantee long-term reliability. This is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about cargo vans that last very, very, very long. And one thing I want to say here is that the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter appears to be the cargo van that can last the longest based on customer feedback, official service campaigns, and overall reputation. Okay. In fact, a properly maintained Sprinter van can easily last over 300,000 miles. Okay. But remember though that a vehicle's reliability is largely dependent on following the recommended service intervals outlined by the manufacturer. Okay, so one thing we have seen in our research here is that cargo vans are usually subject to a lot of abuse due to their ability to carry heavy loads, which makes correct maintenance even more important in comparison to cars, really. Okay, so but even the most reliable cargo van can be affected by wear and tear in systems such as the engine, transmission, suspension, brake, and exhaust. Okay, so to quickly recap, we have Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, our score 9.6 over 10. The Ford Transit, 8.4 over 10. The Ram ProMaster, 7.8 over 10. And the Nissan NV200, 7.2 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.